On Saturday afternoon, I went to, well, actually, it was Saturday morning. Let's be fair. It ended in the afternoon. But on Saturday morning, I participated in the 14th annual 5K on behalf of I Care, I Cure for fighting children's cancer. This is a very big deal in Broward County. Some wonderful people are involved in this event. And interestingly enough, this was the second 5K that I ran in 2 weeks. And I'm not a runner. I hate running, but I was able to do it in 35 minutes, and it was pretty hot outside. So, needless to say, I'm a little impressed with myself. I give myself a little pat on the back because I do take care of myself physically, but running is the last thing in the world I ever want to do. But it was really, really great being at this event. And so, what made the event so unique? Well, unfortunately, for all the wonderful people that were there, local activists, there was a band, there was some food trucks, there was lots of great stuff, and about 1,000 people participated, which is always great. And I think they raised 1,000 people. They probably raised between $50,000 to $100,000. So they did pretty good. It was a very good event. And like I said, we do it once every year. This is the 14th year going for I Care, I Cure. Hats off to my friend Shelly. Thank you so much for inviting me. Really had a wonderful time. But it was somewhat soured and maybe inspired me a little bit as it relates to my Congresswoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was there. And not that I would really care generally about whether or not she attends an event. We're going to run into each other. We're both in politics and we're both in the same area. So inevitably that's going to happen. But what really irked me about this is not the fact that she showed up, but the fact that she had to get on her bullhorn. She had to talk about how anytime Debbie gives a speech, she will always let you know that she's a cancer survivor. Yet, no one ever wants to call out the fact that she is the only member of the South Florida Democratic congressional delegation that does not support Medicare for all. Pretty big deal, if you ask me. It wasn't my place to, really go after her. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make a public spectacle or anything like that. But in that moment, I thought it was absolutely atrocious how she always manages, anytime Debbie speaks, she always manages to make it about her, not about the event and what's going on. In fact, if you're a great public official, if you're a great public servant, it's never about you. And yet, every time Debbie does an event, she always manages to bring it back to her about how she is a victim and she is the one suffering. No, actually, you're not. You're part of the very elite 1% of this country. And there are plenty of people who were there who are actually suffering as a result of what has transpired regarding various forms of cancers that have sprung up over the years. There is an epidemic of epic proportions regarding childhood diabetes. But as I said, Debbie somehow managed to make this about her, which hats off to her. She is clearly capable of doing that at every instance. So that inspired me. I felt juiced up. I was going to really kick butt and take names on that Saturday. And I did. I was able to do the 5K in 35 minutes. And for a non-runner, that's pretty good. That's a mile. It's about it's about 11, it's a little more than an 11-minute mile. And I was able to actually run the first mile without stopping. I probably did the first mile in about 8 minutes. So I actually did a pretty good job. And I felt inspired. Usually you would take that negative energy that Debbie fills the air with and think, I'm just going to be down and I'm not going to be inspired to really do much in this instance. But I got to tell you, I felt really inspired. And I ran like there was no tomorrow. And I was determined to be good at this. And I was. But that's not where the story ends. Where the story ends is after the race is over. And Debbie is still there. You would have thought that, yeah, she probably would have hightailed out, the event's over, no big deal, don't need to hang around. No, she actually hung around. But as I was able to discover, she not only has a wonderful luxury automobile that she doesn't actually drive. It's hers. It's a 5 Series BMW, which license plate reads Vote Dem, and she has a driver. Yeah, that's right. She has a driver. Debbie doesn't actually drive. She has somebody drive for her. So we made this little, well, you can thank Jen for this wonderful number, because it goes so appropriately with Driving Miss Debbie. And I couldn't help but think, you didn't just show up to an event for supporting fighting against childhood cancer, which you could easily do much more effectively if you actually supported universal health care, which would allow all children to get the proper care that they need if they, God forbid, were diagnosed with some form of childhood cancer, whatever that may be. But instead, she comes there, she stands on her soapbox, she's leaving in her BMW with a Vote Dem license plate and a driver. And if that's not enough, we were blocked from getting out early because, as I mentioned, I finished the race early. And I thought, okay, I was there, had a good time, but I was ready to go. I was there for about an hour and a half. Okay, ready to go. They wouldn't let us leave because they basically blocked off all exits so that all the runners can finish the race. And I'm thinking, I get it, but you really should have thought about how do you not have like a scenic exit? Well, guess who had a scenic exit to get out of there? Debbie had a scenic exit to get out of there. And she was able to go. And when we drove up and thought, okay, well, now we'll be able to get out of here. But no, you can't go anywhere. See, the Congresswoman is a special and more important person. See, she can leave, but you can't. So you got to wait. And we waited over a half an hour. So that was a pain in the butt. But the idea that not only did she show up to this event and give her speech and then leave in her chauffeured BMW 5 Series, she didn't even participate in the event. Now you would say, okay, it's a 5K. Well, a lot of people are running. But here's the problem. There were people walking it as well. A lot of people. Hell, I even saw a couple of moms pushing strollers just to have their kids involved. I even saw some dogs participating, which was wonderful. Hell, that was the main reason I wanted to go in the first place. Anytime there's a family event that involves dogs, I'm there, baby. All day, every day. Debbie couldn't even bring herself to walk the event. But she made sure to get on her soapbox and she made sure to take her private exit out of Dodge once the event was concluding. But she didn't want to wait. So what did they do? They made an exception. This is our representative, and this is how she operates at the local level. This is what she does. And when you become so detached, it stinks. It stinks. But that's where politics is today. We do not have a congressional representative in this area who is one of the people. She is one of the 1%, and she makes it known. And if you saw the people that she was hobnobbing with at this event, you'd understand. I just hope enough people start to realize that representation involves helping the least of these, not the most of these. That's really the big difference with Debbie.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.